I don't fear nothing. Chill, deaf. It is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I got a brain. I know how to move, and I know what not to say.
I just wanted to kind of see like if you were in good spirits.
You know, this is like a box of hell.
Lil Durk has never sugarcoated his struggles with jail life, and now fresh footage shows just how bad it's gotten. Fans are worried, saying his enemies are circling in on him behind bars. The viral clips confirm Durk's rough reality inside MDC Los Angeles, a jail infamous for suicides, violence, contraband, and even corrupt guards. Judges have called the place barbaric, and Durk's living it daily. With the long list of enemies he's built over the years, every day behind those walls is a gamble.
You know, we don't get no news, no talk, no nothing. If you don't call or somebody send it to you on the computer, it's a wrap.
One of the most shared phone calls making rounds even has Durk speaking with DJ Academics, giving a rare look into his mental state as he faces life-changing charges. Durk's words, delivered with that calm composure he's known for, show the mindset that's kept him standing through every storm. But deep down, he's facing the reality of possibly spending the rest of his life behind bars. Cut off from his kids, his Queen India Royale, and the empire he's built for over a decade, Durk still shows gratitude for the love and prayers coming in. At the same time, he keeps it real about how brutal federal lockup is, where even a simple message from the outside feels like gold.
I've been good, man, mentally, spiritually. I've been on top of my...
What really stands out, though, is his spiritual growth. Durk has been open about leaning deeper into his Muslim faith, learning Arabic from fellow inmates, committing to prayer, and finding focus in religious study. It's the same energy we've seen in his career lately, trying to balance street credibility with spreading peace and uplifting his community. Locked up, Durk has been pushing a message of peace through his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. Some partnerships have crumbled under the charges, but he's not facing this storm alone. Viral footage shows multiple members of his Only the Family, OTF crew, locked up right alongside him, a blow that looks like the near collapse of one of Chicago's most powerful rap collectives. Durk was arrested with 5 co-defendants, all tied to OTF, all charged in the same conspiracy. These were his closest allies, now staring at the same potential life bids. Among them, the most notable is Cavan London Grant, better known on the block as Voney, age 28, originally from Chicago, but based in Atlanta, described as a high-ranking OTF associate and one of Durk's key guys. From day one, federal paperwork painted Cavan Voney Grant as a major player, accused of setting up logistics for a murder-for-hire plot. Prosecutors say he copped ski masks, rented cars, and even supplied straps, with one allegedly converted to full auto. The most damaging detail? Grant reportedly used Lil Durk's credit card to book a hotel for the crew, then flew with him on a private jet to LA the day before the hit. He's now in federal custody in Illinois, waiting transfer west. Another key name is DeAndre "Dee Wilson, 33, from Chicago. Feds claim he managed the money and travel, booking one-way flights from Chicago to San Diego with OTF funds and coordinating the crew's drive into Los Angeles. Prosecutors highlight the one-way tickets as proof the alleged squad either expected not to return or planned to vanish after the shooting. Wilson, along with homies Boogie Brown and Flocka, sits locked in Illinois federal custody. The feds dropped the hammer hard on October 24, 2024, arresting OTF members in Chicago just before Durk himself was picked up in Florida while allegedly trying to flee. The timing suggests a coordinated takedown, sweeping up the entire operation in one strike, and the pressure hasn't stopped. Beyond this case, OTF affiliates keep getting caught up, like OTF Boona, arrested in Chicago on August 2, 2025 on burglary murder charges, fueling talk that federal eyes are watching the crew closer than ever. The OTF camp keeps taking hits. One case tied to the crew involves the brutal killing of Oscar Oz Cruz, allegedly shot 17 times before his body was dumped near a church. Though separate from the federal plot, it piled onto OTF's legal mess. Around the same time, OTF Bunny Mo was arrested in August 2025 for cocaine possession with intent to distribute. A signed artist and Lil Durk collaborator, he's still in custody facing serious time. The wave didn't stop there. OTF DJ Bands, Durk's official DJ and producer, also got snatched in August 2025 for marijuana possession and a probation violation after drugs were found in a routine check. Meanwhile, prosecutors came at Durk directly in May 2025, accusing him of breaking jail rules by using at least 13 other inmates' phone accounts for unauthorized calls, including three-ways. A judge called it blatant disrespect for the rules, wrecking any chance of release on his proposed $4.5 million bail package, even with house arrest and private security. That slip turned devastating. Prosecutors argued if Durk couldn't follow basic jail protocols, how could he be trusted under supervision? The leaked calls ended up fueling social media and hip-hop blogs, giving the internet a goldmine of content to pick apart. The Fed's master plan runs deep: wires, snitches, and the threat of life sentences. Prosecutors claim Lil Durk orchestrated a murder-for-hire scheme, offering cash and music industry opportunities to OTF members to take out Quando Rondo. This wasn't random street beef, but what officials describe as a calculated, multi-state conspiracy involving big money and careful planning.
Co-conspirator who is unnamed. Check it out, right? This how cold-blooded this unnamed co-conspirator is. Let me show you the power of this unnamed co-conspirator. He offered money. Not only that,
5 OTF associates allegedly flew from Chicago to Los Angeles on flights and hotels paid with Durk's credit card, then tried to carry out the hit using multiple firearms. One allegedly converted to full auto. The scale and coordination made it look like a military op, not just hood drama. Investigators say they've pulled together more than 200,000 pages of evidence, from financials and travel records to surveillance footage. But the most chilling piece? Recordings captured by a confidential informant, someone who's been wired up for years inside OTF. And if that wasn't enough, leaked communications from Durk's enemies while he's been locked down have started surfacing online, turning this already heavy case into a straight-up nightmare. A shocking threat recently surfaced from someone claiming to be one of Durk's enemies, proof of just how violent and personal this war has become.
Because if I get home for him, I'm going to kill his kids, man.
Stop playing with me. You just say if you get home before him, you gonna kill his kids. Come on, gang.
It is what it is.
Come on, gang. You been in jail
I hope he get home.
100,000 years.
Praying. I need him to get home.
Come on, gang.
Feds say this kind of street conflict fueled the alleged murder-for-hire plot, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The biggest cloud over the case is the informant. Prosecutors rely heavily on a confidential insider from OTF who reportedly wore a wire for years, capturing recordings that link Lil Durk to the plot. Hip-hop chatter points fingers at OTF Jam, a longtime member released in 2022 after serving 12 years for attempted murder. But in public court docs, the informant's name stays sealed. The betrayal narrative has the culture buzzing. In a resurfaced 2023 interview, Jam credited Durk for holding him down during his bid, sending money, showing love, even name-dropping him in songs. Now, the idea that he could be the government's key witness feels like a modern-day betrayal saga tearing OTF apart. Hip-hop analysts have been breaking down the informant situation with surgical detail. Then came the October 2024 leak, footage of OTF Jam eating McDonald's during an interrogation. One quick glance at the camera turned into viral memes of him snitching for a Big Mac. Funny online, but deadly serious in the streets, where staying silent is the ultimate code and breaking it means betrayal. The Fed's probe has also uncovered disturbing patterns of alleged criminal behavior far beyond the Quando Rondo plot. Media voice DJ Academics, who's tracked Durk's legal mess for years, explained that this is part of a multi-jurisdictional effort targeting him long-term. According to Ac, the current case isn't random. It's the climax of years of law enforcement zeroing in on Lil Durk. Law enforcement has admitted Durk dodged major charges before, which makes this federal indictment even more crucial in the eyes of prosecutors. But Durk's mindset behind bars is just as telling. In leaked jail calls, he shows a mix of bravado and toughness, talking like a man unfazed by the life sentence hanging over him. To prosecutors, it's proof he still carries the same street mentality they say fueled the alleged crimes. His defense team, led by attorney Drew Finling, has come out swinging. In April 2025, they filed motions to dismiss, arguing the indictment leaned on shaky evidence, including misused lyrics, and lacked anything directly tying Durk to the plot. They even claimed prosecutors misled the grand jury and built their case on circumstantial scraps. One small win came in May 2025 when the feds filed a superseding indictment that removed all references to Durk's lyrics as evidence. It was a victory for free speech, but the rest of the charges still carry the weight of a potential life bid. The removal of rap lyrics from the case was seen as a win for Durk's team. Legal experts have long blasted the practice as unfair and biased, but the victory didn't last. On May 8, 2025, a judge denied his renewed bail request, pointing to jail calls and other factors as proof he was both a flight risk and a danger to the community. The blow was major, especially since it came right after prosecutors had already weakened their case by dropping the lyric evidence. And the feds weren't done. The case exposed a wider net around OTF. In December 2024, Durk was tied, though not charged, to another alleged murder for hire in Chicago involving Stefan Mack, with claims he placed bounties on rivals, even a witness's family member. prosecutors used this pattern to argue Durk is too dangerous to release. Making things worse, when he was finally arrested, CBP flagged him on multiple international flights: Dubai, Switzerland, and Italy. Agents caught him near Miami International Airport just an hour before his Italy flight was set to leave. That move gave prosecutors exactly what they wanted: proof he might run, and proof of consciousness of guilt. The viral jail footage of Lil Durk isn't just clips of a rapper locked up. It's a reminder of the human cost behind this case. On those calls, you hear not just a celebrity, but a father, a fiance, and the leader of a movement that employed dozens. The verdict won't just decide Durk's fate, but the futures of everyone tied to his empire. Prosecutors claim to have mountains of evidence, backed by the alleged cooperation of Durk's own people. Each new filing adds another piece to the puzzle, painting OTF as not just a label, but a criminal enterprise running alongside the music. At the center of it all is the bond between Lil Durk and King Von, a connection prosecutors say was so deep it fueled revenge plots. This wasn't a typical rap partnership. It was brotherhood, mentorship, and business rolled into one, a bond that reshaped Chicago drill and, according to the feds, helped set the stage for Durk's current nightmare.
One of the closest motherfuckers to me told me, start rapping. He just found you some artists. So that made me kind of go hard, you know what I'm saying? But when I see Von, always been Von. Like, if Von was going to be a rapper, a basketball player, a football player, Von was always going to be Von. Like a good-hearted motherfucker. So he like, man, when I go on Breakfast Club, man.
King Von, born Davon Daquan Bennett, was OTF to the core until his death on November 6, 2020, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. His murder sent shockwaves through hip-hop and deepened the war lines Durk now faces in court. To understand why he's sitting in federal detention, staring at life without parole, you have to understand that bond, a brotherhood so strong, it may have sparked one of hip-hop's most devastating cases. When Durk first met King Von, he didn't just see another street rapper. He saw raw authenticity that couldn't be faked or taught.
He showed me like 5 songs. He like, man, this shit, he said all shit weak. And I told him, I'm like, man, this is my favorite song right here.
What song?
And it's crazy. Crazy Story.
Really?
That motherfucker dropped Crazy Story, started going crazy. We was on tour. We was on tour too. Put him on tour. I started bringing him out. Damn, shit. Von became like, if Von was alive right now, he'd be like the biggest right now. It's so crazy because Von used to come in the studio and be like, hey, finish this for me. I'll help him out, finish it for him. Then that motherfucker just caught. Like, he just started rapping, started listening to his shit. You be like, damn, all right. Come on, bitch, let's die here. Like that's how he is. He ain't like, what you think? What you think they gonna think?
Von's gift was painting vivid pictures of street life, turning real experiences into cinematic stories that grip fans and critics alike. Even drill veterans admitted his storytelling was different. In one of Durk's deepest interviews, he described the moment he realized Von's talent wasn't chance. It was greatness worth backing, and it changed both of their lives forever. But Von's impact ran deeper than music. Durk saw in him the same hunger, the same unfiltered truth, the same willingness to share harsh realities while still earning respect as someone who'd really lived it. To Durk, Von was more than an artist. He was a reflection of himself and the future of the drill scene. King Von wasn't some industry-made rapper. He was the real deal, straight out the trenches with stories you couldn't fake. His talent was spotted instantly, and once Durk put OTF's full weight behind him, Von's rise was fast and undeniable. What set their bond apart in hip-hop was how genuine it was. Durk didn't view Von as just another artist to profit from. He saw him as family. Von's success felt tied to his own, and Durk carried a protective instinct over him that prosecutors now say helps explain the alleged revenge plot. Their studio chemistry was proof of that connection. Von came in with raw energy and half-formed ideas, while Durk helped shape them into polished tracks without stripping away the grit that made Von's music powerful. Together they built something bigger than business. It was brotherhood turned into art. Their creative process revealed something deeper. This wasn't a one-way mentorship. Yes, Durk was the star and Von the newcomer, but there was mutual respect and space for Von's raw talent to shine. Durk gave him the platform, but the authenticity was all Von's. The bond stretched far beyond music. Durk taught Von how to handle the business side of rap while still holding his street credibility. This guidance was about more than making hits. It was about survival in an industry as dangerous as the streets they rapped about. With Durk's support, Von's rise was meteoric. In no time, he went from relatively unknown to one of the most talked about voices in drill. Proof of how their partnership turned mentorship into legacy.
You know, one of my favorite rappers ever was King Von.
Yeah.
You had a great relationship with him, obviously.
Yeah.
Where were you when you got the call?
We was in Houston. We were shooting a video, I think. Yeah.
He was one of the most talented guys on the planet.
Somebody told me if you can copy an artist to be somebody for Halloween, you made it. He had a whole image. You know what I'm saying? And he lived what he lives. What he rapped about, he lived, but he was good-hearted at the same time. So it's like
Von's storytelling, backed by Durk's industry connects, created the perfect storm. Success that should have taken years came fast, but with fame came the dark side. Law enforcement attention, rival crews, and the constant danger tied to Chicago's drill scene. The authenticity that made Von's music powerful also made him a target. His death in Atlanta wasn't just the loss of a rising star. It cut the bond that had become central to both men's lives. When Durk got that call in Houston, prosecutors say it set off a chain of events leading to the alleged murder-for-hire plot that now threatens him with life in prison. Von's death wasn't just personal grief. To Durk, it was an attack on everything he built and everyone he loved. In street and rap culture, there's an unwritten rule. When family is taken, retaliation follows. And that expectation of payback may be exactly what sealed Durk's fate. In the streets, the code isn't just about violence, it's about respect, honor, and never showing weakness. Prosecutors argue that Durk's love for Von crossed the line, turning grief into conspiracy. Instead of channeling the pain into music or legal action, they claim Durk used his influence, money, and connections to push a revenge plot that cost an innocent life and shattered families. What makes it heavier is the idea that Von's death could have been avoided. The night started as a fight between Von and rapper Quando Rondo, Terrell Bowman, but spiraled into a shootout between their crews. Von was shot multiple times and later died. Timothy Lil Tim Leaks, an associate of Rondo, was charged but had his case dismissed in October 2023 under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law. That dismissal fueled outrage. Many saw it as the system failing Von. Prosecutors now argue this sense of injustice pushed Durk toward street justice, the motive behind the alleged plot. To them, his loyalty turned deadly. To Durk, the courts left him no other choice. The bond between Durk and Von shows both sides of hip-hop's code. On one hand, it's mentorship, loyalty, and genuine brotherhood. On the other, it's proof of how that same loyalty can spiral into cycles of violence and revenge that tear lives apart. Now Durk sits in federal detention, facing the chance of never walking free again. The bond that lifted Von's career is the same bond prosecutors say pushed Durk toward revenge, charges that could end his own life. The tragedy goes far beyond just two rappers. It touches families, communities, and fans who once saw their rise as proof of what's possible when raw talent meets opportunity. Instead of celebrating Von's legacy and Durk's success, the culture is left watching the possible collapse of everything they built together. If you rocked with this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.